Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better. You only will. Shower the people you know with love. Shower the people you know with The words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say it's very hard to leave behind the life we knew. But there's no other way. Now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen?
Good morning, Unity of Sarasota. God, you sound good.
time. Beautiful vision, stay ever on my mind with your beautiful vision. Mystical rapture, higher than ecstasy. Beautiful vision, don't ever separate me from your beautiful vision. In the darkest night, you are shining bright. You are my guiding light. Shows me wrong, right. Beautiful vision. Stay ever on my mind. Beautiful vision, stay with me all of the time with your beautiful vision. Darkest night, I said you were shining bright. You are my guiding light. Yeah. Show me wrong from right. You showed me wrong from right. Showed me fear from love. Love from fear showed me peace of mind. Beautiful vision, still on my mind. Beautiful vision, still on my mind. With your beautiful vision, I can make it. You can make it. We all can make it to the beautiful vision. I can make it. I can make it. Beautiful vision.
Thank you, Rob. Good morning. My name is Phil Lieber. And in the absence of our dear Reverend Susie, who is on a much-needed vacation, I'm here to welcome you to Unity of Sarasota, where something always good is happening here. So welcome this morning. I have a special announcement I want to start with. We usually don't just start with announcements, but we have a special one. You probably have noticed that, and you were asked on the way in about masks. I have mine, and when I am in close proximity, sitting here or whatever, I will be wearing it. We're keeping social distanced here. Over the past week, members of the board and Reverend Susie and Reverend Amy got together to discuss the implications of the uptick in the Delta coronavirus infections here in Florida, and how this could affect our in-person gatherings. And so there have been some decisions made that are designed to help us all stay healthy. All the board members and staff and volunteers are going to be wearing masks, and while we're not requiring it of the congregation, we're asking that for your safety and for the safety of others around you, that you consider doing so. We don't know what the implications of all of this are. We just know that when folks get it, they're down with it, and so we're trying to protect us as we meet. We want to continue to have as much physical, personal interaction as we can, but we want to be cautious. So the after service fellowship that we have in the hall, we're going to cancel that for a while, either indoors or outdoors. We're going to try to limit the intense gatherings that we have, and hopefully we'll see a drop in these numbers, and we'll be able to go back to the new normal and really try to get our folks together. But for the time being, we hope that all of you will see this move as an important step for us to just protect each other. So, having said that, the mask, vaccinations, all of that's just important during this time. If you're here as a guest for the first time this morning, please stand and remain standing. We love to find out where you all are from, so I'm going to start in the back, and just let us know, give us your name and where you're from.
I'm Suzanne. I'm from Ohio.
Ohio, great. There you go. Thanks, and you can be seated. Thank you so much. And yes, ma'am.
I'm Deborah Hatland, and I moved to this area a year ago, and I moved from California.
All right, all right. Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome. In the back.
Oh, he's a regular guy.
Well, he's standing. Can't tell who anybody is with these masks on, you know. That's great. Okay, here in the beautiful dress right here. Yours, yeah.
My name's Annette, and I just moved here from Denver, Colorado.
All right, coming forward. Great, welcome, welcome. Welcome, that's great. Yes. Georgia, yes, very good, thank you.
Hi, I'm Dorothea, and I'm from Atlanta.
Atlanta, welcome, welcome. Do you want to tell us who you are, or you're just being quiet? All right, that's all right. That's all right. We have a mystery guest this morning. That's great. Welcome. Yes?
Dorothy from Unity of Omaha, Nebraska.
Great. Yes, sir.
Robert, I'm also from Denver, Colorado.
Excellent.
I'm Eric. I moved here a couple months ago, and I'm in Denver too.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to you all. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. We have a welcome packet in the back that you can pick up, and there's a card in there that you could fill out and let us know who you are and where you're from, and we'd love to keep up with you. We invite you to fill that out, and it's clipped to the back of the packet, and leave it at the table in the back. That'd be great. We do a live stream here, and so we'd like to welcome our folks on live stream. Why don't we all wave to them back there? Hello, folks. Thank you for being with us. You can go on to the live stream just by going to our website, unityofsarasota.org, and there's a place there every Sunday and actually every Wednesday for you to be able to see what's going on here at the facility and to join us. And then there's also an archive there where you can go back and look at the previous Wednesdays and Sunday services. So Laurel keeps that up, my wife Laurel. Yes. Well, it's wonderful to have you all here to celebrate with us this morning. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. We have, each week, we have a board member that's on duty. Carolyn, where are you, Carolyn? Oh, Carolyn is working hard. She's back there. Carolyn Roberti. Carolyn is out in the main lobby there, and she can answer any and all questions about Unity and about coming to our services and what we offer here. So see Carolyn if you have any questions. Unity of Sarasota is a beacon of light and love, opening minds, touching hearts, and transforming lives. That's the vision here. We are an inclusive spiritual community that embraces empowering and life-affirming practical spirituality for richer living right now. And we join with the Unity Worldwide Ministries in creating a world that works for all. We have some invitations that you can see on the slides, I hope, that are up here. There are ways that you can be involved here at Unity, and there are a whole host of things that we offer during the week from our website and activities that are going on. Encourage you to go on to our Facebook page and our website and share and like and love and all of that kind of stuff. Let your folks know, let your friends and others know about your participation here and how much you like the place. If you would now, we would love it if you can use your cell phones to let people know where you are now. That'd be a great thing. But once you do that, if you could turn those off so it doesn't disturb the electronics that our great group back in the back there is handling, we would appreciate that. Rob?
Yeah. I'm turning mine off right now, don't worry. I always do. Because I don't want to be that guy, Let's do the Unity hymn, everyone. Well, I guess you can sing along or quietly under your breath. Every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel is already here, is already real. There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me. There's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way. All loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always opportunity.
I have the pleasure of introducing our speaker today. Many of you may know Reverend Dieter Randolph. He's a third-generation minister as well as a writer and a podcaster, and this path is his life. Throughout his journey, Dieter has been on fire about finding ways to take spiritual ideas beyond the traditional church setting. He's spoken and taught at countless venues and formats, and Dieter is here to help us find a life that we love, one that feeds us instead of making us feel tired. We're all in this together, Dieter. Those are your words. Thank you. When we win, so does the world. Reverend Dieter has recently written a book entitled Meaningfulfilled, all one word. And until we find something that fulfills us, nothing changes. But when we do find something meaningful, mythological, everything changes. Let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Dieter Randolph.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to be back here. It's been many years, but some things stay the same. We begin with our prayer. I wonder if you might pray with me for just a moment. Infinite Lord, we give thanks for this moment. We give thanks for this family. No matter what roads people have taken to be here now, no matter how bumpy or how smooth, now is the important moment. Because now is a time of pure potential. Now is a time of decision. Now is a time of revolution, of new ideas, new realization of a love that has always been there. God is and I am. I stand on holy ground. Right here and right now there is truth. Right here and right now there is freedom. Right here and right now there is life. This is who I am. I am ready. From now on, I speak the truth. From now on, I choose freedom. From now on, this is my life. The unstoppable love of God prepares the way. I am ready. God, I'm ready for change. My heart is open. I'm not afraid anymore. My life is in peace and on purpose. In the name and nature of Jesus Christ, let it be so. Amen. And now we have a prayer to share. Thank God within and all around us, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, who is perfect life, perfect intelligence, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. You are an individualized expression of God. We are individualized expressions of God. And so it is.
And there's a song I'm going to do before your talk, Dieter, and I actually took a peek at I actually watched his entire talk last week so I could know better a song that would work for him today for his talk and his blessing us. And this song kept coming into my head. And I said, nah, that can't be, not that song. That's a love song. Well, it's also a very spiritual song, even though it has very human elements to it. And there's one line in it that I just love. It's called, I am warm from the memory of days to come. We walked on the beach beside that old hotel. They're tearing it down now, but it's just as well. I haven't shown you everything a man can do. So stay with me, baby, I've got plans for you. This is the time to remember, 'cause it will not last forever. These are the days to hold on to, 'cause we won't, although we'll want to. This is the time. The time is gonna change. You've given me the best of you, but now I need the rest of you. Did you know that before you came into my life, some kind of miracle that I survived? Someday we will both look back and have to laugh. We lived through a lifetime and the aftermath. This is the time to remember, 'cause it will not last forever. These are the days to hold on to, 'cause we won't, although we'll want to. This is the time. The time is gonna change, and know we're gonna move somehow, but I don't wanna lose you now. Sometimes it's so easy to let a day slip on by, yeah, without even seeing each other at all. But this is the time you will look back to, and so will I. And this will be days you can never recall. So we embrace again behind the dunes. This beach gets so cold on winter afternoons. But holding you close is like holding the summer sun. I am warm from the memory of those days to come. This is the time to remember, 'cause it will not last forever. These are the days to hold on to, 'cause we won't, although we'll want to. This is the time. The time is gonna change. You've given me the best of you, but now I need the rest of you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So, I am a third generation minister, like we said a little while ago. That means my parents were ministers and my grandparents were ministers. It's a weird Thanksgiving table, man. I've been a minister for more than 27 years. Yeah, I know. And I got to tell you, as part of that life, as part of that calling, one of the things that kind of goes along with the job, after being in it that long, being raised in it, having it be the family business and all that kind of stuff, is that I have been to or conducted, been a part of, led, maybe hundreds of funerals. Now, that's not fun. I mean, it's not like you say, I'm looking forward to that funeral. That's creepy. But I am honored by it. You know, it's one of those things to get to be there as a part of that rite of passage, to get to be there as a part of this transition into something else, and to help guide and help give some hope and some love and some comfort and maybe some inspiration, even if I'm doing my job right. It's a beautiful thing. I'm honored by that. I'm honored by this calling in so many ways. But you know, there's a funny thing about being a minister at a funeral. Because maybe 80% of the people in there didn't go to the church that the person whose ceremony it is went to, right? Most of the people don't know the weird guy standing at the front of the room. But that's really good. Because at a funeral, people have all kinds of amazing insights, you know, because whether or not you believe in the great ongoing, even if you're the kind of person who says, nope, this is it, you're still looking at that cliff, right? That Grand Canyon experience. One way or the other, across the spectrum of the human experience, everybody sitting there at that funeral is having some deep philosophical moments, some opportunities to think about things in maybe a different way. But the problem with being at a funeral is if you have a great deep philosophical insight, you can't tell Uncle Larry sitting next to you because he's grieving and you're supposed to be grieving too. This is not the time to go, hey, you know what I think about the universe? You can't tell the people you're with. But you can tell the weird guy at the front of the room after the service is over. And so, being a part of hundreds upon hundreds of funerals, I've had people come up to me and tell me all kinds of amazing things. I've had deep philosophical insights. I've had I've heard some great dirty jokes that I won't share with you. I've heard everything. Trust me. But after all that time and all of those moments of breakthrough and insight, I've heard everything, but I've never once, not once, I have never once heard anybody say, you know, that was a great service, great sentiment. I liked the way that felt, and I really like those ideas. But, you know, I wish I would have heard more about their credit rating. I wish I would have heard more about height, weight, vital statistics. I wish I would have heard more about how many likes they're getting on Facebook. It's interesting. Nobody, and this is the point, nobody ever asks about the data because it doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter. And we know that. Instinctively, we know that, right? But it's a funny thing. Given that everybody knows that the numbers don't matter, the data doesn't matter, it's amazing that most people spend most of their time chasing those numbers. If only I could move to that magical zip code where things are better. If only I could make a few more dollars. If only I could change my credit score. If only I could drop a few more pounds. If only I could get a few more likes on my Instagram picture of nachos. People chase numbers. And yet we know the numbers don't matter. And that's kind of a problem, guys, because it's kind of a you are what you eat kind of a thing. If you chase something that is meaningless, you will feel meaningless too. That's the problem. That's why I wrote the book. It's an interesting thing to think about. I mean, you know, I guess we're kind of trained for it. We tell kids who you're going to be when you grow up. We ask people about their 5-year plan. We talk in terms of finish lines and making things happen and moving the numbers around all the time. We tell people, if you can make yourself miserable enough in school, you can get to an even more miserable school. And if you're really good at clobbering yourself, you'll get to a miserable job. And on and on and on. We're trained for it. We're marketed to it. You don't like the razor with 3 blades? How about the razor with 5 blades? How about the razor with 20 blades? I think that's a cheese grater, but we'll buy those things. On and on and on. And I don't know where it comes from. Maybe it's not important. It's easy to blame church. You know, I don't know where you used to go to church. Very few people who go to Unity now used to go to Unity. I'm a Unity baby, but I'm very rare. Not well done. But it might be that the place you used to go talked a lot about finish lines and moving numbers around. And if you're good enough and miserable enough, you get to go to a better place. I get it. But if all I'm thinking about is a better place, I'm not doing much to make things better now, and that's kind of problematic too. But that's a separate talk. It's easy to blame quote-unquote old churches for doing that, for teaching us about finish lines instead of being where we are right now. I get it. But I got to tell you guys, I speak all over the world. And I've spoken at a lot of quote-unquote progressive churches too. And sometimes if there's all this emphasis on something like manifestation or attraction, well, that's the end-all and be-all of this whole universe is so that you can get a new Buick? That's just moving numbers around too. And if we're going to change our lives, if we're going to change the world, if we're just going to have a good time, it's got to be about something more than just using different nouns for our experience. Something bigger has got to happen. Just moving the nouns around is a little bit like a medium, extra medium t-shirt. They don't make extra medium t-shirts, right? They don't. I checked. You got small, medium, large, extra large, extra, extra large, extra, extra, extra large. You got extra small, extra small, and so on. Nano, maybe. But they don't make an extra medium t-shirt, do they? Well, you can't get more medium than medium, right? And yet, even though we know that's a crazy idea, there's a lot of people who try to fix their lives by trying to be extra mediocre, by trying to do more of the same. And you know there's that definition of insanity, right? By trying to do the same thing over and over again and somehow expect different results. Well, that is an extra medium t-shirt. A geographical cure is an extra medium t-shirt. Putting up with a toxic relationship is an extra medium t-shirt. Doing the same thing over and over again is an extra medium t-shirt. And sometimes if life feels uncomfortable, it's because the shirt don't fit. What I propose to you is that it might be time to try something different. That's all. You can't solve a problem on the same level of consciousness that created the problem, right? My wife Jenny and I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. And just about every morning we take a walk down by the water. It's amazing. We see dolphins and birds and a lot of tourists and all kinds of other things. And we were walking one day and I saw this amazing Discovery Channel moment. I saw this giant bird fly down, go into the water, get a fish, and fly away with it. I don't know what it was going to do after that. Maybe it was counseling. I don't know. Could have been intervention. I don't know. But I thought, what an amazing spiritual lesson. Because you see, the bird doesn't stay in the water with the fish. You don't stay on the level of your problems. Excuse me. I'm vaccinated. It's good. It reminds me of the story of Hercules and Antaeus. Hercules and Antaeus. Maybe you heard about this in high school. Or maybe you slept through it, so I'll tell you again. You know who Hercules is? Big Arnold Schwarzenegger type guy. Made his money by beating people up. Good wrestler, that kind of thing. Very WWE kind of experience. But one day, Hercules went through clobbering people and beating everybody and becoming more and more unbeatable. This one day, he had to go wrestle this guy named Antaeus. And he would get Antaeus and he'd throw him down to the ground and pin him, like you can imagine. But every time Hercules pinned him, Antaeus got stronger. And he'd pick him up and he'd throw him down again. And every time Hercules pinned him, he got stronger. Well, what Hercules didn't know was that Antaeus was the son of Gaia, the goddess of the earth. And so every time Antaeus went down to the ground, he got some of that mommy loving and he got stronger. She loved him like a rock. Every time he tried to get down to the level of the problem got worse. But then finally, he remembered what he needed to do, and Hercules just picked him up and held him. Picked him up out of that situation and changed something, and eventually Antaeus got weaker, and Hercules won the fight. Thank you so much. That's how this works. Oh, that's so much better. My goodness. That's how this works. What I propose to you is that if things aren't working for you, it's time to do something different. And I came here to propose that something different to you. If things aren't working, if things feel uncomfortable, that whole deal, stop doing the thing that you've been doing over and over again. And instead, I want you to embrace the pointless. Embrace the pointless. Here's what I mean by that. There's a lot of things in life that have a point. What are you going to get paid at the end of this? How is this going to improve your credit score? How is this going to give you some kind of a result at the end of it? What's the point of what you're doing? We're told to expect a point. I'm telling you to stop expecting a point. Because the truth is that everything important in your life and in mine and in everybody's life, everything important is pointless. What's the point of love? There's no external reward. Love is internally rewarding. Love has no point. What's the point of art or truth or beauty or honor or nobility? What's the point? The fact that you like your favorite song, pointless. Yet it's one of the greatest things about you. When that music comes on and you got to dance, embrace the thing that does not have a point, that does not have an external reward, that is internally rewarding, the thing that just is, the thing that you know just like you know you're alive, just like you know when you're in love. That pointless thing is the best thing. You want your life to change? Embrace the pointless. People ask me about Bible stuff. A good theological term, Bible stuff. People ask me about Bible stuff. And they say, how come the Bible isn't more straightforward? How come it's not like a set of stereo instructions? Or IKEA furniture instructions? Not a great example. I always have parts left at the end. And I say, there are parts of the Bible that are like that, but those are the parts that are the hardest to deal with. The parts that are very straightforward, the parts that have a point, the parts about whether or not you're supposed to eat shellfish, whether or not a guy can have a beard, whether or not you're allowed to wear fabrics of different weaves and stuff like that, that's the parts that are the most brittle. The parts that don't hold up to well, what do I do about this in my life right now? The parts that are the most brittle are the parts that are most straightforward. Maybe we shouldn't be looking for the point. Inevitably, in that kind of a conversation, people say, yeah, but what about the golden rule? I mean, that's a good one, right? I've seen Facebook. Every religion has some kind of version of that. That's where I always go for my theological research. But I get it. It sounds very straightforward. It sounds like it has a point. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I get it. That's great. That is one of the least straightforward parts of the Bible. It sounds like it, right? Sounds like it's very straightforward, but think about it. Do unto others what you would have them do unto you. What if he has taken a vow of silence and I want to talk about the weather? Should I make him talk because that's what I want? What if he's on a diet and I'd like a hoagie? All of a sudden, doing unto others what you would have them do unto you is not straightforward at all. It's not about anything that has a point. In order for me to practice the golden rule, I got to get past the words and I got to get into the behavior. I got to get past the letter of the law and into the spirit. I got to get into something that is pointless. The beauty of the golden rule is not that it's straightforward. The beauty of the golden rule is that it requires work like everything important. They say if you want to know if someone is worth your forgiveness, or more to the point, if you want to know if you've really grown, look for patterns, not words. Because you can say anything. Oh, I'm sorry. And then you go right back to doing it again, for example. Look for the patterns, not the words, right? Maybe that's complicated. So let's say I'm going to say it a little bit differently. Here's what I want you to remember. Verbs, not nouns. I'm going to say that again. Verbs, not nouns. Look for the verbs. The nouns don't matter. The nouns change all the time, but it doesn't actually change anything. The verbs change. You want to change your life? Change your verbs. Your nouns don't matter. No matter what Jimmy Buffett says, a change in latitude does not change your attitude. I checked. And you moved here from somewhere else, and you darn well know it too. This is a big deal. Because when I do relationship counseling, for example, one of the problems that comes up a lot for people is, I'm giving you my nouns. People don't say it that way. But they say, I put a roof over your head. I bought you flowers. Love doesn't happen because there's flowers. Just because you're paying the tab doesn't mean that's where love comes from. It's not about sharing your nouns. So I want you to ask yourself, the people who love you and the people who you love, are you sharing your verbs with them? Your actions, your feelings, your moments? Do they know your story? Work on that. That's the important thing. This is a beautiful church. I love coming here. I've been here, I've spoken here, I don't know how many times, taught classes here. Jenny and I come here when we can, when we get across the bridge and all that. It's a beautiful thing. I love this place. And I want you to know that I love this place because I'm going to tell you now that there's nothing special about this building. There's not. You don't go to the consecrated Home Depot to get specially blessed drywall. If you go ask for a holy 2x4, they will kick you out. I tried. This is not a church because of the building materials. This could have been any kind of building. This is a holy place because we have decided that it is, that we act in a certain way because our verbs make it so, not because of the nouns of the building. Do you see what I'm saying? And as it turns out, that is true about everything. 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 Maybe when you were a kid, you learned about the triangle of fire. It sounds like an event on, Survivor or something, but no, to make fire, you require fuel like wood, you require oxygen, you require heat. You need those three things. And you can't have them in a row. It's not like, okay, we have wood, and then we put it away. We got oxygen, and we put it away. Then we got heat, and we put it away. You need them all at once to make fire. And I'm telling you that not because I'm trying to get you ready for the Boy Scout Jamboree. I'm telling you that because, as it turns out, the way to understand fire is to understand that it's not a thing, it's an event. It's something that happens. Fire doesn't happen because there's wood. Fire happens to wood. Church doesn't happen because there's a building. Church happens to a building. I want you to be the kind of person where life doesn't happen to you. I want you to start happening to your life. But to do that, you have to think of yourself not as a thing, not as a noun, but as a verb. You have to think of yourself not as a noun, but as an event like fire. You are a happening. You are an event. You are less like a rock and more like a rock concert. That's how I want you to think about yourself. But that means praying in a different way. It means when I pray, I shouldn't be asking God to change my nouns. I should be asking God to change my verbs. It's so easy to pray for God. Can I have more of the same because I fear change? Can I please just be comfortable where I am? Can I just have a bigger version of what I already got? There's a reason why those prayers don't work very well, guys. And then you got Solomon in the Bible, the richest guy, the wisest guy, Solomon. There's that great moment at the beginning of his story where God appears to Solomon more or less and says, you can have whatever you want. You want the money, you want the cars. Maybe we've got to invent the car first, but you want that. And Solomon says, maybe you know this story. Solomon says, just grant me an understanding heart. In other words, God, I want to know you better. God, and this is the most important prayer maybe you're going to hear all day. He basically says, God, may I know it when I see it. That's the prayer. Instead of, God, will you please give me a bigger hair, bigger house, bigger whatever. The bigger happens a lot in prayers. Solomon doesn't pray for that. Solomon just says, God, may I know when I see it. May I be so wise spiritually that I am willing to change. And may I be changed by the beauty that's all around me. May I know it when I see it. So do you pray for change when you pray, or do you pray for more of the same? Because one works and one doesn't. There are problems that can be solved by not changing, that just keep things the same. They're called mechanical problems. A mechanical problem is like making ravioli or fixing a carburetor. You do the thing and the thing gets done and you go right back to your life. You break your arm, you put a cast on the arm. After a while, you get the cast taken off and then you're right back on the rollerblade. It doesn't change anything. Don't try this at home. But then there's the kind of problems that do require change. Those are called adaptive problems. Those problems are like falling in love, getting sober, quitting smoking, changing your mind. Those are the interesting problems, the adaptive ones, the ones that require you changing. So when you pray, what do you pray about? And more importantly, when you think about God, do you think about God in terms of a mechanical transaction or an adaptive transaction? Let me be as specific as I can. People come to me all the time and they say, I know all the affirmations. I got all the books. I got them all. And I say, have you tried my book? But then after that promotional moment, we get back to the point. And the point is, people say, I've memorized all the affirmations. My life still ain't working. You know, I get in front of the mirror and I say, I am a well-loved child of an infinitely prosperous God, and yet I feel like I'm not so well-loved, and I don't know how prosperity works. And when I say these words, it feels like a lie, and my life isn't changing. The affirmations don't work. So can you give me some new affirmations? Like it's a prescription I could write. Take 2 I ams and call me in the morning. Doesn't work that way. You know why it doesn't work that way? Here's the deal. The universe does not speak English. The universe speaks intention. The universe does not speak English. The universe speaks intention. So what you say is not nearly as important as what you feel when you're saying it. I don't care how pretty the words are. If they feel like a lie, the thing you are praying is a lie. And I want to clobber you. We've all been there, and we're all getting better. It's going to be okay. But what I'm going to suggest is if you pray these big affirmations and they don't feel true, you're not helping yourself. So instead, start with what feels true. Maybe it's a lot to chew on, to say, God, everybody loves me, and gosh darn it, I'm awesome. Maybe you just start with, God, I know there's love in my heart because I can feel it when it ain't there. I know that I'm worthy of love because I yearn for it. Yearning is a good indication of what you deserve, guys. God, I don't have the answers to everything. I don't know how this is going to all end, but I know how to start. Start with what's true in your heart and grow that and watch what happens. This is how all of this works. And in fact, that's a really good test for everything. Your relationship with God, your work situation, your family thing, the relationship you have with your significant other, whatever it is, ask yourself of this thing that you're about to do or just did or thinking about doing, does it feel like the truth or does it feel like a lie? Your heart knows. Does it feel like the truth or does it feel like a lie? Can I do this, whatever it is, with honor? Because if not, quit it. Quick as you can, put it down. Step away quickly. Because the world deserves more of your honor. Well, how do I know what's true? This is a good question. Thanks for asking. There's all kinds of things you can do. Like I said, I really do believe that your heart knows, but maybe that's a lot. So let me come at it a different side of your brain. When you give, do you get more or less? When I give time, talent, attention, whatever it is, when I give, does more come out or does less happen? Well, it depends on what you're giving, right? But that's the question for your life. A lot of people spend a lot of time giving stuff that wears out. Jesus said it better. But the point remains. And yet, every single thing that's important, everything that's important, when you give it, you get more of it. You give love, you get more love. You give happiness, honor, inspiration, art, truth. When you give it, you get more. That's the test. Doesn't have to be complicated. You don't got to go up on a mountaintop somewhere. There are no pilgrimages involved. Ask yourself, when I do this thing, do I get more or do I get less? Because the universe is good at infinity. God is good at infinity. Infinity stops only when I get in the way. Friendship is a good example. Remember how good you were at friendship when you were a little kid? You were excellent at it. That's the point. You're good at this. Adults, maybe not so good at friendship. Adults have weird boundaries and barriers, and I can't be friends with them because of how they vote or where they live or that thing they posted on Facebook. Sometimes if you see somebody at the grocery store who you also know from work, you don't know how to deal with them because they're in the wrong place. What, did God run out of extras? Adults are not great at friendship, but kids are good at it. You have been good at it. You will be good at it again. But kids, hey, we share the same swing set. Best friends. We both like Spider-Man. Best friends. We both have a red shirt on. Best friends. Best friends is easy currency when you're a kid. Get back to that. Because when you give friendship, you get friendship. You're good at this. You are already good at infinity. I want to leave you with this story. When I was a little kid, I was walking with two of my friends, Joey and Joshua. And Joshua was my age. Joey was a year older. We really wanted to impress Joey. His parents let him watch Dukes of Hazzard, so he was, kind of worldly. And he knew things, he knew things. And we were at that age where we had just discovered the step on a crack, break your mother's back thing. Now, normal kids, that's just kind of a fun, giggly kind of moment. You jump over the cracks. I was a nervous, weird kid, and it freaked me out. Freudian implications notwithstanding, I didn't want to hurt my mama. I didn't want to break anybody's back. Seemed weird. I didn't want that kind of power, didn't ask for it. And so I was kind of being way more careful than a little kid should have been. And I think Joey, the older kid, I think he knew that because he said something horrifying. He said, if you look at this concrete through a microscope, I didn't know about the middle finger yet, but I might have used it had I known about it. He said, if you look at this concrete through a microscope, you'll see all kinds of cracks, millions of cracks, billions of cracks, infinite cracks. There's cracks everywhere. You can't help but step on a crack. You're going to be stepping on a crack your whole rest of your life. And I freaked out. I was a nervous kid. I had an 8-year-old panic attack over it because I didn't want to break anybody's back. I didn't want to hurt anybody. And more than that, what's holding this all together? What's keeping me from falling down to the center of the earth where there's lava and dinosaurs and James Mason? What's happening? What's going to keep my school, my house, my church from falling into the center of the earth? What's holding it all together? I lost it. But then my friend Joshua, the one who was my age, who hadn't said anything yet, he said, I bet if you look at this concrete through a microscope, you'll see the cracks, but you'll also see millions of places where everything is stuck together like a spider web, where it's all just kind of touching each other. I'm just going to step on those places. And Joshua walked at the front of our little group for a change. And folks, I'm telling you that because that's the same choice that you and I have. Where are we going to step? Because it's really easy to put our weight on the things that separate us. Chasing something, trying to earn something, trying to prove something. But what I want you to know is that this love is unearned. You don't have to earn this any more than you have to earn gravity or thermodynamics or math. It just is. Or you can chase the things that draw us together. You can share your story, your verbs, your heart. Because you are already good at this. You are already capable. You are already beautiful. You already deserve it. And you're already free. Because after all, freedom is a choice. Thank you very much.
There we go. Oh, yes. Glory, glory, glory. Holy, holy, holy. Glory, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Ever smiling light, keep me by your side. In your precious smile, I will always abide. I will always abide. Glory, glory, glory. Holy, holy, holy. Glory, glory, glory. Hallelujah. It's your blessed story on a page a day. Every verb is penned with the beat of your heart. The beat of your heart. Glory, glory, glory. Holy, holy, holy. Glory, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Always in my prayer, in my prayer, always. I am here with you every step of the way. Every step of the way. Glory, glory, glory. Holy, holy, holy. Glory, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Ever smile of Christ, keep me will always abide. I will always abide. Glory, glory, glory. Holy, holy, holy. Glory, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Glory, glory, glory. Holy, holy, holy. Glory, glory, glory. Hallelujah.
Let's just soak that up a bit. Sometimes it's important just to realize where you are at the time and what important words and the vibration and the sound and the music can do. Thank you, Ro.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you, Dieter. I don't think I will ever walk down a sidewalk the same again. Do we have chaplains in the room? Yes. Come on up, Virginia. Jackie. Our chaplains are here every Sunday, and if you would like a personal prayer, you can come forward at the end of the service to be with one of the chaplains. They'll pray with you. Or you can actually make an appointment with them outside of the service for more in-depth prayer. Our chaplains are a real blessing to us, and let's just thank them. A couple of things happen here that outside of this Sunday service that are beautiful things. On Wednesday evenings every week, we have this music and inspiration service, 7 o'clock, right here. It's live. We had been broadcasting like we had been doing for the Sunday morning service, but now we're live. It's our midweek opportunity to escape from the business of life, from the nouns, and to bask in the glow of spirit for just a little while in the verbs. Thank you. Here at Unity, we have an opportunity every Sunday and all the time, really, to share our time, our talent, and our resources in being part of creating a world that works for all. And for our financial gifts, to further that vision, we have baskets in the back of the sanctuary. As you leave, you'll notice that there's an envelope in front of you. You can put a gift, a message, a prayer, a blessing, your credit card number, whatever you would like to put in there, you may do that, and leave your giving action there. We've got a one affirmation that we would like to say. I know that these affirmations sometimes just are floating out in there, but this one really touches. Let's say it together. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly. And as we go today, let's just bless the time that we've had together. Let it be a memory of something special. If any of it brought a smile to your face, let somebody else see that smile after you take your mask off. And let the smile come from within, not just be a noun, but let it be a verb. Let's say this blessing. Thank God within and all around us. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And yes, it begins with me.